All right. Well, welcome tonight to our another summer event of Living Simply series we've been doing all summer long. We have had great events to inspire healthy living around the world, which that's what the company with a heart is doing. And we're just kind of partnering up and letting people know what we're all about. And we've had Kids Snack Magic, that's been very popular. Meal Magic, Cook Along. I invite y'all to come along with me this Thursday and cook a meal, a 3-course meal in 45 minutes. That's a challenge. And other educational events like we are having today. And this Thursday, we also have, after my cook along, we have Dr. Stricker, pediatrician and board certified to be sports medicine. So it's a very unusual combination. And he's very, very energetic and knowledgeable. So I invite you to join also on Facebook, it's Juice Plus TV. So since our company is to inspire healthy living around the world, we have a lot of solutions to a lot of the problems we have. And so I invite you to watch this little 4-minute video that I want you to see all what's available for you. And we're gonna focus in one of those. And we have our guest today, which is Lori Davies. She's our expert with Tower Gardens. So we have our guest and hope to join us. And if you're watching this later, I hope you share it. And let's jump on to our little video we're gonna watch. Let me share my sound. Let's see, can everybody see this? Awesome. Here we go.
When it comes to our health, diet is at the center of everything. And fruits and vegetables need to be at the center of our diets. I'm here today to tell you more about Juice Plus, whole food-based fruit and vegetable capsules that have given thousands of people a jump start to better diets and better health. We all know we need to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, half our plate at every meal, and we need to eat a wide variety too. But for most of us, even on our very best days, it's hard to do that. And that's where Juice Plus comes in. Juice Plus is whole food nutrition from 20 fruits and vegetables, 30 if you count the berry blend, that bridges the gap between what we should eat and what we actually do eat every day. I say whole food because it is food, concentrated to deliver a powerful nutritional punch in a few small capsules. We harvest the produce at just the right time to ensure the nutrition is at its peak. Freeze the produce to lock in that nutrition and then, well, sort of pulverize everything, peels and all, into a pulp to unlock that nutrition and concentrate it. The peel is really important because, let's take an orange, for example. There's more vitamin C gram for gram in the peel than in the fruit itself. And if you're like me, you don't usually eat the peel. We dry that pulverized pulp, peels and all, at carefully controlled temperatures to protect the nutrients from damage. Then, blend it into Juice Plus fruit, vegetable, and berry powders, delivered to you in plant-based capsules or chewables. And we do all of this at state-of-the-art freezing, drying, blending, and manufacturing facilities. Juice Plus checks all the boxes. It's 100% plant-based and 100% vegan, even the capsules themselves. It's made entirely from non-GMO ingredients, it's gluten-free, and it's third-party NSF certified, independently confirming that what's on the label is really in the product. Juice Plus is supported by over 20 years of independent clinical research, conducted at prestigious hospitals and universities around the world, showing the benefits of Juice Plus on heart health, lung health, obesity, the immune system, even our DNA. There have been more than 35 studies and counting on Juice Plus, published in leading medical and scientific journals, making it easily the most researched branded nutritional product ever. And get this, if you're a parent or a grandparent or even an aunt or uncle, you can get Juice Plus free for a child by enrolling in our special program for families. This is our way to get Juice Plus into the hands of more families and encourage healthier eating habits for the next generation. Juice Plus also offers other whole food-based products that help you jumpstart and maintain a healthier lifestyle. Juice Plus complete shake mixes make it easy to replace unhealthy calories with the healthy shake or a smoothie. Mix with other healthful ingredients to start your day, or enjoy at lunch, or as an afternoon pick-me-up. Complete is rich in plant-based sources of protein and fiber and contains an entire range of whole food-based ingredients, different from those in Juice Plus capsules or chewables. And Juice Plus Complete bars are another tasty way to replace unhealthy calories with healthier ones. Juice Plus Omega Blend offers a unique whole food blend of 5 different omega fatty acids, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. What also makes Juice Plus Omega Blend so unique is it's a 100% plant-based omega product. We bypass the middle fish and go straight to the fish's source, the algae. And last but not least, there's Tower Garden by Juice Plus, a vertical aeroponic home growing system that lets you grow your own fresh fruits and vegetables year-round, indoors or out. We're proud that our Juice Plus products have been that one simple change that's helped jumpstart thousands of people to better diets and better health. We bet they can do the same for you.
All right. How about that? Look at all those different solutions we have for anything, whether you get enough fruits and vegetables to grow in our own. So here we have Lori Davies. She is a wife of 9 children, and she uses a Tower Garden to feed them. And a husband who's a dentist, and she'll probably share a little bit about that as well. And so she's our guest, so she's going to take it on and show us how a veteran she is at taking the Tower Garden to new levels. Take it away, Lori.
Okay, well, here I go. I'm going to share my screen if this works. And Sakura mentioned that I'm a mother of 8. And here, not of 9, what am I thinking? Of 9, and at this point, the older 4 are married, so there's actually 1 more of us. So when you look at all of these people, the first thing I want you to know about me is I do not need anything challenging in my life. I don't need more work. So when it comes to gardening, I love fresh food. I want to have the convenience, but I am not looking for the work. So here is a couple of classic things that I have done. I don't do so well, and I'm really not looking to do them, which is pulling weeds, watering. I mean, who can remember to water and water it enough? And oh my gosh, I don't even want to go there. And on my hands and knees. These are the 3 things that I am looking to not do because they add more effort than I want to put into it. So this picture is about 8 years ago when we got our very first Tower Garden, and here's my 2 youngest kids. They were like 8 and 10 at the time, and they put it together. So this is the easy button. And it's just one of my favorite pictures. It's easy to put together, it's easy to work with, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to get right in and show you a little, about 2-minute video on how fast it grows and how it works. Here we go. It's pretty amazing it can grow this fast. Look at that yellow squash. In 4 weeks, it's ready to eat.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your Tower Garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
So if that didn't look easier than pulling weeds and all of that, let's see how I can get out of this now. One more. Okay. So I was sold on that, you know. I didn't have to pull weeds, which it doesn't matter how many times you pull them, they just keep coming back. I don't know, and they have the worst root system than anything because you can never pull them all the way out. It's just a lesson in frustration as far as I'm concerned. So I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. But I'm a science geek, so the part that I really like is that the Tower Garden has been researched. And this is a picture of the University of Mississippi. And it tells a couple of things about the study that they did. They looked at some plants and they averaged 30% higher yield in growing. Can you imagine a farmer saying, I can give you proven, researched 30% higher yield on what you're already doing? I mean, that's like jaw-dropping. And equal antioxidant levels. It takes less time, less maintenance, less water, and less land. And this next slide is going to show you a little bit more about that. It's 98% water. I mean, this is a closed system, so we're conserving those resources. 90% less space. Let me put it to you in this terminology. With a Tower Garden, you use a 3-foot by 3-foot space, and you would grow the equivalent of what you would need or what you could grow in a 90 square foot garden in the ground. And not everybody wants or can have that. So this is pretty amazing. You can stand up and do all your gardening in just a few steps. And yes, 30% more yield. It grows 3 times faster. I mean, what gardener, farmer, anyone who's trying to grow their own food that's enough right there. 3 times faster and 30% more yield. So that's pretty powerful. You'll see the picture on the right, which is the Tower Garden Flex, and on the left is our Tower Garden Home version with the lights. And this is exactly what the crops were. They looked at kale, they looked at basil, and the other 2 are not, they got cut off or whatever, but they looked at 8 different crops, and on those crops, in the very best in-ground growing system that they have at the University of Mississippi versus the Tower Garden, and that's what happened. 30% more yield, 3 times faster. So that sold it for me. The next thing is this is to give you an idea of what does that look like. So if I was growing a head of lettuce, a 1-pound head of lettuce in the ground, it would take 71 gallons. But if I grew it in the Tower Garden, it grows in 3 gallons. So that's quite a big deal. I could produce over 23 pounds of lettuce with the amount of water that the in-ground garden grows only 1 pound with. That's 71 gallons. So these things are pretty, I can't really argue with them. I think they are for sure establishing what we need to do. This is like a 1-minute video. This is our newest little addition to the family, the home garden. So the highlights of this are it's 6 inches narrower. So you can literally take an end table away and roll this right into its spot. It would fit in that. And it holds a 13 gallons of water and has the lights included. And if you'll notice at the very top, there's microgreens. There's an opportunity to grow a lot of what they're doing now, the growing microgreens. And I was looking at stuff yesterday, matter of fact, and they are all the rage, you know, microgreens for their nutrition, for their taste and texture, and what they add to recipes and plates. So here's a little video on this. It's so colorful. Got the built-in timer right at the top. Steps away from your kitchen, so you don't have to go far. And yes, kids love it. Kids are going to get more involved, and it's easy to put together, like linking cubes. Doesn't that just, I can smell it from here. Just cleaning the air. That's amazing. So, let me see if this is going to be my friend again. I'm going to show you a couple slides of my own garden. Let me see if I can get rid of this thing again. Look at the size of these strawberries, and look how many I got. This is my husband holding a big basket full of strawberries. These are all pictures of my towers and the food I grew, and I'm standing up. I'm not on my hands and knees. I'm not pulling any weeds. I'm having the fun of my life because I just get to harvest. Look at these bowls full of beautiful leafy greens. This is one of my favorites, this one, because I had so many things growing, like probably in this picture right here, I had so many things growing. I lined them all up because look at the color and the texture and the taste and what the nutrients are that they bring. So I didn't eat like this before. You know, it wasn't on my radar. I didn't have the opportunity. I grew in ground, which meant in Houston, I grew, you know, tomatoes and peppers, and I only actively did it for like a couple weeks in the spring and a couple weeks in the fall, because the rest of the time was too hot and humid and too many weeds. So it did not last very long. But these are some of my favorite pictures. And then here's some up close. You'll see sweet peas and celery, cucumber, green beans, tomatoes, eggplant, and yep, here's those nice big strawberries, butternut squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, all these leafy greens. I think this was oregano along with my different lettuces. Look at that head. I mean, look at the color. That's amazing. That's so much fun. And that's what I have. I want to tell you that I have a few tips, which if you're going to grow in a tower garden, and so first, you know that I am low maintenance person. So 1, grow what you want to eat. Don't waste your time growing stuff you're not going to eat. Every now and then put it in something new, expand your palette, expand your opportunities, figure out how to use one new thing. And I love it that our company, our community has created a tower to table recipe book. So what to do with all that basil, pesto, what to do with all that kale, you know, kale chips. They got amazing recipes for us. The second tip is check it daily, 5 minutes, walk around it, check it out. The way that you're going to know your plants are doing really well is by checking them every day, because then you know if something's going different, if they're a different color or there's something missing. That's the only way you know. And the third thing is have fun. You know, life's too short. Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy your tower garden. And like I and my family for the last 8-9 years we've been harvesting off of it. Yesterday I visited with a physician today in Marble Falls. He is a functional medicine doctor, he and his wife, and they have a tower garden, and it's growing. And you know, they don't have a clue what they're doing, and it's growing just fine. You know, everybody in the practice is harvesting lettuce. They cannot believe how fast that they have been able to harvest and get that nutrition and that fresh produce, and they're loving it. They're trying new things, and they're like, what's this one again? What's that one again? But they're loving it. So like they say, sometimes some people ask the question, why not? Give it a try, give it a go. And those are my 2 cents worth. I love the tower garden. I think everybody deserves to get one so that they can help their family be more sustainable, have a smaller carbon footprint, and have better nutrition. So there we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. That is awesome. Great tips. Great tips. Yeah, adding a new one, so you'll know, you learn a new plant to grow and what it looks like. There's a lot of things that I wasn't familiar what they look like, except what I found at the store. Especially that celery. The celery, I thought that was when I started growing, I thought it was parsley because it looked like parsley. and that was I didn't know it was that dark. It was supposed to be that dark. So we have time for a couple of questions. If anybody has any questions about the tower garden.
I have one.
Yeah.
When is everybody going to get a tower garden that doesn't have a tower garden yet? That's my question.
Yay.
If you don't have one, when are you getting one?
That's right. That's
right.
And
and what are your questions? Anything for me? Adele, did you have a question?
Yeah. Do you know where, what plant to put at what level?
Yes, they give you. We have a little diagram document that will tell you what goes where. The vining plants at the bottom, the bigger plants next, the mid-size, and then the ones that grow straight up at the top.
Okay, so cucumber is at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, like a squash, cucumber, anything that does that kind of stuff?
And I'm going to tell you, there's 4 holes at the bottom.
Yeah.
You get 4 things. That includes tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, butternut squash, all those things. You don't get to put them anywhere else. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah,
You're limited to 4.
Well, the thing is with that, because of the space, because only having 4, that means because it gets bushier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I can show you, and you saw my towers,
yes.
how I take it off the side and I grow it next to it. Because if you were to grow everything right there on the support, you would not get the air circulation that you need for healthy plants, and you would not get the sunshine that you need for the healthy plants, because those larger leaves of the viners would keep that away. So it's much better to pull them off.
Like your tomatoes also are at the bottom, right? Tomatoes?
Yes, tomatoes,
okay.
All the large
and then
things.
How about like lettuce and stuff like that? You put that
lettuce
in the middle?
Can go in the middle. It can go in the middle.
And celery?
Celery would go at the top because it grows straight up, and you wouldn't want it to cover up another plant. The thing with celery is it can grow really big and start taking up too much of the spot. So for instance, a lot of people are familiar with, they go to the store, they buy organic celery, they chop off the bottom, and then they put the bottom in water and it starts growing. And you could put that in the ground, or you could put that in the tower garden. But what I would do is let the middle grow, break off the sides, but still keep the root part, and then you could put it in the tower garden. But if you try to put something that big in the hole, it's gonna be too tight.
Yeah. Hey, how about, can you guys do green onions in there?
Oh yeah, I've got garlic chives in there right now. I've done bunching onions, or multiplying onions, I mean. Honestly, the deal is with those, my personal option, because they were I used multiplying onions and they were growing so fast that I'd have to pull them out and break them apart and then put them in 2 or 3 or 4. So I do have garlic chives in my tower right now, but other than that, I have a bucket and I just have it full of onions.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's going to take up too much space.
Where does pepper go?
Bell peppers. Bell peppers kind of, they're not at the very bottom. They're at the next level.
Okay.
And they do need some support. So use the support cage for your viners or your big things at the bottom. And then that way you have it for the next level for the peppers to lean on. They don't need a whole lot, but it's helpful to have that.
Do you have to prune a lot of the extra leaves of the tomatoes? Because they start kind of getting
you know,
lots.
I hear both sides of the fence on this one. Indeterminate tomatoes are going to go crazy, and when they go crazy, they create so many leaves that they are in their, you know, God made people and plants and animals to know when to reproduce. And if the plant is happy and just growing crazy, there is no threat to have to flower and send out seeds. But when you start pruning it, you actually get more fruit because now the plant feels a little threatened. Like, I better start sending out more fruit because I need to continue. I need to reproduce. I need to, you know, keep my line going, I guess.
Yeah.
You see,
my
things
husband tells me that it robs a lot of the resource of water and nutrients when it's not producing.
Well, it does. And on top of that, it can take a lot of the sun away as well.
Okay.
So there are a lot of quick YouTube videos and you know, on how to harvest or how to prune indeterminate tomatoes. And the thing that I just learned lately is when you have a tomato plant, you understand there's a stem and you understand there's leaves and they do their thing. The thing that you're pruning is called a sucker, and it comes usually at the crux. The thing to understand about that sucker is that sucker grows a stem, that sucker grows leaves, that sucker grows fruit, that sucker grows everything. It's not like the rest of the plant that is either a leaf or a stem or a fruit. It's a whole new plant, and you can actually pinch that off, stick it in water, it'll root, and then you can go plant it in another hole or something.
Wow.
You know, all those little bitty hairs on tomatoes that make them kind of sticky, those are all root remnants, which is why if you pinch that and stick it in water, those things turn into roots. What? I mean, little hairs.
I've never done that. That's cool.
I just learned that. I watched a YouTube video, you know.
Okay,
there you go.
Another thing, Lori, I have east-west decks. So which deck would you suggest, the east side or the west side?
I guess it would depend on how close the building is as far as how long it's going to get sun. The deal is it needs 6 to 8 hours. Probably morning sun is going to be less hot. The afternoon sun, it starts to get scorchy.
So do the east?
Yeah, I would think so. As long as the way the building is, that it's getting, you know, 6 to 8 hours.
I haven't started mine. I'll be honest. I haven't started mine because it's just been so hot. Like in the hill country, it's just so hot. Like my regular pants are burnt. Like they're
That's why it's amazing, because a tower garden is like an island. It's got all its own stuff, and it's looking beautiful and smelling beautiful. You know, it's pretty amazing.
To fry. I was scared that it was going to fry.
Yeah, the water gets hot.
Not if you keep the water in there. And you know, there's other tips that you can do as far as running the water more frequently. Or some people, again, I'm a low maintenance, so I'm not going to do this, but some people put frozen water bottles in the bottom of their.
Oh, really?
And you can, you know, to me, I mean, I don't know how long does a frozen water bottle last? An hour, 2 hours?
Yeah.
And then you just toss in another one and stick it back in the freezer. You just rotate it, depending on how you have it. But that's why I like to grow indoors.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because here, I mean, a leaf, okay, it's going to get nutrition from the roots, but it's going to be the leaf that's going to burn.
Yeah.
Well, they also point out that tomatoes are red, they're full of lycopene, and that's what helps us not get sunburned. So they want the sun.
Mine didn't have, Cho's got a question, so let me answer her just a minute, Cho. I did have the same problem with the not enough sun, I don't think, for my.
You do have to have sun. I mean, that's just the deal.
It's just only 4 hours, I think, but I don't think that's enough.
You need 6 to 8.
Yeah. Yes, Cho.
Yes, I have a comment and a question. Thank you, Lori, very much for your presentation. That's very good. I've seen it before, but good to see it again. And I just love those photos of your garden. That's just amazing. You're an expert after, almost a dozen of years doing it. A few years ago, I had opportunity to try. I borrowed a tower garden from Karen. I have tried it for one season. I started a little late. I started in April. What I have noticed that during that time, that was my first time, so I gotta try and error. But I plant tomatoes. I planted herbs, okra. The herbs went very well, like the basil and the mint grow crazy, but the tomato is not doing very well. I think I chose cherry tomatoes, so I don't know whether the nutrient that I measured to put in there, maybe it does well for the herbs, but not doing well for the tomatoes and the okra. So my question is, how do you know what, because when you do a reservoir, you put the chemicals in there, plant food in there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know, how much for each kind, because each plant might be using different amount?
This is a good question, and I like this question because every time I would want to start a garden in the ground, the first thing they always say to do is, send in your soil sample. Like, to me, that's another step. That's work. I got to figure something out. I got to get, send it in and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not about that. So the reason is because whatever was planted there before depletes the soil of the particular nutrients that it is really taking up. And since we normally don't use the cut and drop method where we leave the clippings on the ground so that the soil then can take up back whatever it got, the plant took out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The plant pulls it up out of it, and then we pull the plant and go throw it away somewhere else instead of just leaving it there to just die and
Replenish
put the nutrients back into the ground. But so the neat thing that I love is that the tonic puts in all the right stuff, and guess what? God made every plant to pull up what it needs. So you put in the tonic, the water is fully saturated with the tonic, and now every plant has at its disposal exactly what it needs, and it will take just what it needs. So then when it gets depleted, you put in more tonic and it puts in everything. Now, again, for my easy button, if you start having issues with plants and you think they're not getting the right stuff, or have I put in too much, dump the whole thing and start over. Keep the plants, just dump the water, put in clean water, and start new. It's not that big a deal. It's like a haircut. It's going to grow back. It's going to be okay. It's not that big a deal.
Does the tonic go bad?
No, the tonic should not be left out in the heat. The tonic should not be left out in the sun. Yes, you have to protect that. So that's one thing. The other thing is that, it's kind of like anything else that you really want to do, and you do it for a season, and you're going to have some bumps along the road because you're going to learn stuff. We're learning every day. It's the continuous usage and kind of like, okay, so I figured out that bump. And then, so then you run into the next bump. Okay, well then how do I handle that? And that's why I really love our community, because the Facebook Tower Garden page, people are, the experts are there giving their answers and suggestions. And honestly, since we're all partners here, one of the biggest challenges is to knowingly, or I'm thinking unknowingly, have people believe that they can get an indoor garden and grow outdoor crops. You know, you can't. You just can't. If you're going to grow indoors, you're going to grow leafy greens, things that are not flowering and fruiting. If you're going to be outdoors, yeah, go the whole thing if you can get enough sun. The benefit of the tower garden is it's going to extend the growing season because it's portable, because you can move it or cover it up or change the water, you know, by throwing in an aquarium heater or throwing in ice water, bottles. You could have more control than you would just in the ground. And so have fun, but don't be misled. You know, a lot of people are growing fruiting things indoors, but they're not at their best. They're having challenges. You know, it's okay to get them started there. Now, if you're in a climate where it's too hot to start outdoors, yeah, start it indoors in the tower garden and then move it out. Or likewise, if you're in a cold, you know, place, start it indoors and then move it out so it can fruit and flower and all of that. But
does that answer your question, Cho?
You're muted.
Muted. You muted.
Yes, thank you. I have a quick question. Our time is up, and I want to, Deborah, if you have any question, Deborah, go. You have any question, Deborah?
Hey, Deborah.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
I do have questions. I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm listening, and I already saw Lori's garden, so excited. I want to do it real bad. I'm not quite ready yet, but my question is, can you, whenever you start, you just, whatever it is in season at that time, or it doesn't be in season?
If you're growing outdoors, then yes, you're more limited by the season, unless you have a greenhouse or you're going to put it in your garage or something like that. So the best way to start probably is, if you're going to grow indoors, kind of anything you want, whenever you want. Any green leafy thing that whenever you want. But if you're outdoors, then you are confined a little bit by the season. But what that means is, late in the season, you could still plant a tomato. Late in the summer, you could still plant a tomato. And then when it, we have a little greenhouse. You don't have to, but a lot of people are growing, and then they just toss an all-weather blanket over the tower if it's going to get really freezing, or if it's going to get really hot. It's an all-weather blanket. So that will help protect it. But probably, yeah, the easiest thing is to grow according to the season. And I wouldn't stress over it too much as far as, what do I grow or whatever, because it's out there on the internet. You can just
venture out.
Yeah.
And grow.
Well, that was my question.
But that's awesome. A good question.
Any other question, Deborah?
That's all for now.
All right. Well, I know we're at our time, and I appreciate Lori. Thank you so much for being with us and giving us a great presentation and open up for questions and answers. And thank you, Adele and Cho and Deborah, for being with us. And I invite you, whenever you're watching this, to take a look at your the website and get with the person that invited you to watch it, and they'll show you where to go and get the information. But for right now, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again, all of you, and God bless you. I'm gonna stop.